Should you date multiple people at once? Action.
Okay. Fun question. Should you date multiple people at once? I was looking at a post from one of my other friends, and they were talking about, how guys should date multiple women to make sure you don't get too attached. And I understand the psychology on that.
Okay.
And I also know, especially with how hypergamy or hypersexual most women are nowadays, since they're on the pill and everything else, so they don't have to worry about getting pregnant, no repercussions for their actions. With this modern pickup culture situationship, they just go from one person to another to another to another. But is that the right thought?
Okay, let's first start with what is dating? Like for me personally, dating, it's when you go on a date, a coffee date, you have a conversation with a guy and you get to know each other. That's what dating is about. I mean, you might have a kiss down the line, but dating is getting to know each other. For me, it's not necessarily sleeping with someone.
Well, and where I look at it is dating is anything shy of marriage or some other type of commitment. We can hit into the marriage topic another day.
Yes.
While I believe...
I can't wait for the marriage and relationships.
While I believe in, the spiritual union, I am not a fan of government-sanctioned marriage because it takes God out of marriage. But again, that's a topic for another day.
Yes, it's a topic for another day. So today we're discussing dating, and specifically dating multiple people at the same time. So for me personally, if I'm just going on a date, on a coffee date, or maybe a cocktail or a dinner date, and that's okay. It was okay. Let me take it back. It was okay for me back in the day. Now I'm not sure if dating multiple people is okay at the same time.
Well, and for me, it's like, if you're not doing anything between the sheets, you're just friends, you're not really dating. So, and that's where a lot of guys will see it too. So that you get to see the contrast between the men and the women. Yes. And, like I said, I do get the dating pickup culture where they say, date multiple women so you don't get too emotionally attached, too clingy, and then driving them away.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
Yeah.
And, when you're just first starting out, if you want to do like she did, the more safe and casual coffee dates, and where it's not going to go anywhere, you're just friends, have fun, don't obsess over one person. But if we're going to take it to where you're getting romantic and you're having fun,
yes,
this needs to be something where you actually need to discuss it with the person and flirt and build things and find out about them. It's like, okay, how long has it been since you've been with your last partner? When were you last tested for STDs?
Okay.
This is a big deal.
Yes, it is.
I was in the medical field for 20 years. And STDs are rampant, especially with this new hookup culture, which I'm really not a fan of because, especially with women, the higher your body count, the lower your value for building a long-term relationship. Yes, it is possible if you've got into the spiritual fields and you've done that inner work, and then you spend a long period of time celibate in between to heal and rebuild, you could actually pair bond.
Yes.
But with most women knowing how hormones work, when you're sleeping around, it ruins your ability to actually pair bond and build a long-lasting relationship, which is what we're hoping
to do.
Yeah, help more guys and women, find better long-term relationships. Yes. And we're talking more about that in our upcoming Sex Secret documentary premiering on the 24th. So you can pre-order in the comments below. But back to the dating and dating multiple. Personally, I didn't ever do that. I didn't ever date multiple partners. If I was interested in one person, if I went anything beyond that first coffee date, I'm not looking at anybody else because I'm very, very picky. I have very high standards, as you can obviously see. So, I also, because of knowing STDs and things like that, it just freaks me out how many are STDs. And then now in the last 3 years, we now have mutants that are no longer human because they got the jab from the common cold. You know, that gene modification therapy. So anybody that got that is no longer breeding stock. They're no longer human. And I know this could offend some of you. You know, I'm still nice to you. I still care about, you know, many of my friends who were foolish enough to do that. Thankfully, most of them were a little bit smarter. But I'm looking at the future of humanity, and if you got the jab, I'm sorry, if, you know, it's a good, intelligent guy, you know, those women that got the jab are no longer breeding stock. So you sleeping around, you got to be very careful. I don't recommend it. You know, find who you are. If you're getting too attached to the one woman and you want to break off, spend some more time with your guy friends. Go hang out, play sports, video games, anything to get your mind off of her, but don't just sleep around.
I agree.
Any other deep thoughts, love?
Deep thoughts? Let's see. From my current perspective, I would definitely agree with you. If I'm in the serious, not serious, but if I'm dating and I have that attraction, I don't even have interest in dating anybody else.
See, and that's a woman who took the time to do the inner work. I get to see there. So it's just step by step, you know, you guys, women, it's all up to you. It's your choices, it's your life. But if you want a longer, deeper relationship and you're looking for something more than just a one-night stand or a fling, you know, dating multiple people isn't really a good thing in my view. Do what you want to do, but if you want something lasting and solid, don't do it. Any other thoughts, love?
No, that was good. So, yeah, and let us know. What do you think about it? Is dating multiple people at the same time okay for you? And how do you define dating? Is it just a coffee date, or is it actually an intimate, you know, sexual relationship?
Now, and for some clarification, we're talking here in the early stages of dating. We're not talking after you have discussed and quantified the relationship to make it exclusive. We're talking that first to like 1 to 8 dates, depending on when you start sleeping together. Personally, I don't really recommend sleeping on the first date. But I
don't think I know a guy. I'm like, I'm not interested in kissing you. I'm sorry. I gotta get to know a human being.
Well, and that's the whole thing. You know, it's not just plain. As Charlie Munger said, the late Charlie Munger, the best investment you'll make in your life is who you choose as your wife. And do whatever you can if you want to have a happy life. Avoid crazy at all costs. So, tune in. We're doing interviews this week, so our time might be off a little bit. We will see you tomorrow.
At 2 p.m.
Or maybe a little bit before.
Okay.
Bye.